Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is messages from your spirit guides. So I have 3 objects for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is the Black Moschino Teddy Bear perfume. Pile number 2 is the Rose Clip. And pile number 3 is the Shell. So see which object you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages your spirit guides have for you right now. I know collectively there's a lot of shifts going on. There's a lot of intense energies, whether it's just, you know, those of you transforming and alchemizing, or whether, you know, some of you guys are using it to purge and clear. I think it's all hitting us in different ways, but I would say we'd all probably agree it's been a bit intense recently. So I really wanted to bring messages of guidance through today. So like I said, you guys chose the Moschino Teddy Bear, the little black perfume. I'm gonna start with tarot and we'll get straight in. So pile number 1, please spirit guides, tap me into the Moschino pile. Tap me into my pile number 1s, please spirit guides. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s, please spirit guides. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s. What messages and guidance? We have the 7 of Swords, but the 7 of Swords has come out in reversed. Pile number 'I keep being shown carrots, and the reason I'm being shown carrots is I always used to tell my younger sister when she was growing up she needed to eat her carrots because if she did, then she'd be able to see in the dark. And I was sitting with my sister the other day and she said to me, I'm really good at seeing in the dark, and I think it's because you made me eat all those carrots when I was younger. And I think I'm being shown that in the sense of whether you guys eat carrots or not, it's just a feeling of when we sit in the darkness for a really long time, or we sit in our darkness for a really long time, our eyes adjust to it. You know, when you see animals or creatures that live out in the dark, the eyes are adjusted to it to the point that they're able to see in the dark. And if you sit out in the dark for a really long time, you adjust and you're able to see things a little bit clearer. And metaphorically, energetically, I do feel that you guys have sat with your own darkness a lot, cleared your own wounds and worked on your own shadow and almost befriended your own shadow to the point that you're coming into an energy now where you are able to balance both light and dark within your own frequency and really see things for what they are. And it doesn't mean that you're lacking the light or you're lacking empathy. That light is still very much inside of you, but it's almost like that light is no longer blinding you to certain truths, and you are able to understand and hold on to the darkness as well as the light, and balance it out and really see things truly for what they are, and really understand things in a way that maybe before you might have been too frightened to, or before maybe your own wounds would have kept you from really seeing something clearly. There's something you're balancing in your energy, pile number 1, especially with the 7 of Swords coming up in reverse. I keep being shown like you know, like when people do kung fu and it's almost like someone's coming up behind me, but I could feel them coming a mile away, and I'm like, you know, doing like a backflip and like pew, like try it, you know, and ready to, what's it called? Is it karate chop? I don't know kung fu or any, well, that's not kung fu, that's karate. You know what I mean? Like I'm able to like, if you could see my hands, I'm like this. But it's like I can see it coming from a mile away. Like there's nothing you can do to frighten me or scare me or even bring up a wound, because it's like I've met my shadow, I know my shadow, like you can't use that against me, sort of thing. And that's something that's coming through, which is really beautiful, the way that you've been able to balance these energies. But we'll get deeper. Pile number 1, please spirit guides. Messages from pile number 1, spirit guides, please. We have the World. Yeah, you're tying up a cycle right now. the World. We have the Four of Swords. I really want to pull 4. I really want to do that, so I'm gonna move them over so we can get a 4th one. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 1. Messages from pile number 1, Spirit Guides, please. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. I also feel like there's a clearing happening in your life right now. We'll get to that in a second. 9 of Swords. I feel like you guys may be going through, sorry for the noise. I feel like you guys may be going through a purge right now, like a proper good clear out. And it really is to make room, but I see you, it's almost like I'm mastering it. Sometimes when I see people and they're going through a purge, or they're going through a clear out, or they're going through another Phoenix moment, it's intense, but it's like, there's so much that comes up and there's almost clarity needed. Whereas I almost feel with you guys, it's like I've walked this road a bunch of times. Like, this is just child's play to me. Like, I'm just gonna walk through this fire. If there's, you know, there's a new phase coming in, I'm welcoming it. I'm so open to it. You know what I mean? And I see you guys feeling feelings, clearing, purging, letting go. I see you guys letting go of people. I see you letting go of it's almost like hopes that I once had, but it's almost like I'm seeing it from a different perspective now, and it's like I'm ready to get real. And by that I mean like, you could have hoped that somebody would come back and apologize. You could have hoped that somebody would have returned and maybe like chose you or given you clarity, and there's almost this feeling of like, I don't even need that. I don't even need that. And it's almost like I'm purging, I'm letting go of that hope. If there's anger, frustration coming up with it, I will. Or maybe even grief. But it's almost like a split second. It's almost like really quick. It's like, I'm here, Miley Cyrus. I don't need to be loved by you. It's like, I'm letting go of that. I don't even need that. That's not even, that was for like an old phase. I don't even need that anymore. I'm open to new. I'm open to what I'm worth. I'm open to newness, and whatever needs to fall away in order for me to grab onto that, it can fall away if it's not for me. So I really do see it crumbling, but I almost feel I'm welcoming it. It's almost like I'm rejoicing in it. It's like, and you may even be finding that you're seeing things clear, maybe with friendships around you, maybe certain family members, because it's almost like I'm looking something in the eye and it's like I'm seeing something for what it is. It's like when Sarah from the labyrinth really sees Jared, and she sees that the labyrinth, you know, it never had any power over her, and Jared never had any power over her, and she says, you have no power over me. And in doing that, she kind of breaks his spell over her. And there's something about that coming through where it's like you're really standing in your power, which is allowing a cycle to end in itself and allowing you to transform elsewhere where new energies can come in. And I think that you've been on a journey for some time, really, how do I put this into words? You've been on a journey to finding your own empowerment. You've been on a journey to finding your own worthiness. And I think you're coming to that like realization right now that it was always within you, and anyone that kept you from seeing it, it was only an illusion. And at any point that you thought that your power laid in somebody else, or somebody else returning, or somebody else choosing you, or somebody else staying or coming back, it's almost like there's almost like a spell broken. And being shown again, the labyrinth, and being shown Sarah when she smashes the chair into the, I think it's a mirror or a glass window, and she kind of destroys the illusion that she was in. And I see you guys doing that, but it feels very empowering. And I see you guys for a sec really balancing in both energies, divine feminine, divine masculine. I see you both right now balancing and working through very high highs, very low lows. Like I see you 1 minute purging grief and anger, and then the next minute it's like transforming it into empowerment. You know what I mean? And then I see you guys feeling disappointment or a bit of grief, but then it's like you're transforming it very quickly into forgiveness. And I see you guys also being very gentle with yourself. It's almost like patting yourself on the back, like I've got this, which is really beautiful. But I just feel like there's a level of something, a distortion that you are seeing through and cutting through, especially with you guys choosing the teddy bear here, which is, you know, pure black. And that's reminding me of when we think of like light and dark, black and white, we think of that as like the shadow, you know what I mean? And the darker energies. And a lot of people, even when they come into spirituality, they fear it. You know, you see a lot of people saying you need to stand behind the light and stay away from the darkness. But your darkness teaches you so much. Your shadow self teaches you so much. Your pain, your hurt, your anger, it teaches you so much. And when you master that and you align with that and you embody it and you work through it and you're no longer scared of it, it no longer controls you. You don't have to go and run and hide behind anything to stop something from having control of you. You know it can't have control of you because you're in control of it. Because a lot of people will say, how do we stop, you know, psychic attacks and, you know, people trying to do work on us? And a lot of the times they prey on people not knowing their darkness. They prey on people not knowing their shadow and not knowing their power. And, you know, I always say, if you work on yourself and you do that shadow work, there's not many cracks that these entities or whoever it is can really pull at you, because they're always going to poke and find a way in where you feel disempowered. And there's a reference here if you feel you coming into your empowerment. And I don't think it's so much a message of guidance. I think it's more so from your spirit guides wanting to reference the work that you're doing on yourself and the completion of a phase that you may have been wondering, is this, am I jumping to a new phase? Is this why things have been feeling a little bit intense? The answer is yes. I'm hearing pressure makes diamonds. But I keep being shown like a multifaceted diamond for you guys. And I feel like this cycle you've been through a bunch of times, but I see you like right at the end of a wheel. Like there's something you're realizing, a lot of you guys, in regards to, you know, maybe you wanted somebody to change. Maybe you still had your worthiness and someone coming back and apologizing. Maybe you, you know, used to get upset when people would say certain things to you, and now it's like, you have no power over me. There's something really connected to empowerment here that you are closing a chapter on, and walking away very intact is what I'm being shown. I just keep being shown someone rising from the ashes, very like, I don't know if you've ever seen Conor McGregor and he does that walk. If you've never seen it, he does this specific walk that, and he looks so cool when he does it, and he's kind of like cockily walking like away from something, and I'm being shown that walk. It's like, that's not much for me. So I see you guys really coming into your power, which is really, really beautiful. Allow yourself time to rest, though. That's one thing that I will say, if you do need to allow certain emotions and feelings to come out, but I do feel like you're putting something to bed, which is going to allow something to come in. And it does feel I'm hearing a whole new world. So you could be jumping onto a literal new paradigm, or you could be realizing you've been in this new paradigm for some time. You just needed to see it. That's what I'm picking up for a lot of you guys. But I do see, you know, with the cups being emotionally, it's almost like the heart space. It's like there's light being poured in. So there's almost like a top up happening because there's something that you put to bed, which is really, really beautiful. And, you know, with the Nine of Swords is indicating that there is a purge going on in your energy right now, but I almost want to say something's different about it. It doesn't feel like any other time that you've purged something. And I think it's because you're wrapping up a cycle and really stepping into your power, which is really, really beautiful. So let's pull some more cards. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. What messages do my pile number 1s need to hear right now? We have East Emergence. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. What messages do pile number 1s spirit guides have for them right now? We have Birds Freedom. Birds may be very significant for you. I mean, we have the 2 birds here, and we have this dove going into the Ace of Cups. Your ancestors may speak to you with birds, or you may just have a very strong connection with birds in general. Spirit may use birds as messengers for you as well. You may find that you download a lot of messages from birds when you're around them. And the other card we have is Deflection, Bells. On the back of the deck, you guys have Medicine Wheel, Continuation. Yeah, with the spirals here, I feel like there is something that you have put to bed. It's almost like I'm walking, I wouldn't even say you're walking into a new chapter. It's just like you've like you were already in that new chapter. It's almost just like you've been topped up. It's like anything that wasn't able to come in, you know, before they start a new TV show or a new like reality TV show or a movie, they decide what members of the cast they want to cut before they start, because it's like, this wasn't adding anything, this was kind of taken away from the show, no one cared for this. That's what I see happening right now, like things just being cleared, like this didn't work, this didn't work, this didn't work. That's what I feel like you're going through right now. But energetically, you've got to purge that out. You've got to clear that out before you make it into this new phase. So I think you were already in the new phase. It was more so like elimination of the cast sort of thing, or elimination of who may still have had ties to you, or you may have still had like an energetic cord to someone. And I feel like you guys have just really transformed through that. And I will say, for you guys as well, you know, when people do cord cutting, and yes, cord cutting's a real thing, but when someone is constantly, like I see you guys purging and going into that darkness, sometimes just the act of a cord cutting doesn't even need to be done, because you're already evolving from that energy anyway, that you're already cutting the cord through your own internal flame anyway. So normally I'll say maybe you need to cord cut this person, maybe you need to cord cut this person, but for you guys, I feel like that movement for you guys, I don't even really feel like it's necessary. If intuitively you feel like cord cutting is necessary, go for it. But I don't feel it's necessary, because I feel like you're constantly evolving anyway, that your energy and your own alchemization and purification cuts the cord naturally. You bring all of your energy back to you naturally by doing that. So I don't even think the actual act of a cord cutting needs to happen, because I think it goes, you know, it's on par with your own transformations anyway. So that's something that just came through. If anyone's been wondering why you've never felt the need to, but you felt that there were cards, that's why it just flew through. So your cards are literally representing, again, we have emergence, the east, and we have birds, freedom. And again, we've got the spirals here as well, really, really strongly in all three cards. So I feel like you guys are literally closing a cycle right now, literally evolving from a cycle where your power was in somebody else's hands. I also feel like you guys may, some of you, with the east and the emergence, like the sun here, and then we were talking about the darkness, maybe you guys have gone through a dark night of the soul, mastered your darkness, and now you're popping back out into the sun. It could also be that you guys have just been in your shadow for a really long time, and now you're emerging out. And it could have been that you've been emerging out for some time, but you've popped back in just to make sure everything was where it needed to be, and transformed a few things while you were there, because I'm hearing, well, why not? You know, that's why I'm here. But I do see you feeling very liberated. So really pay attention right now to anyone that is, you're seeing the true colors of, anyone that is falling away from you, anyone that is energetically holding, I wanted to say energetically holding you back, but anyone that you felt was holding you back, or you felt like your energy was, you know, a little bit distorted, or you felt like your energy was being taken for granted. Notice who is falling away right now, and also notice who may be returning, or who you may be aligning with right now, because like I said, it's almost like a casting cut of people that aren't right for this next phase, and people that may be. And it could be that people might not be right for this next phase, but then in a couple of seasons, in a couple of phases later, they may return. You may both need to evolve elsewhere and then come back together. Sometimes that does happen as well. It doesn't always have to be doom and gloom, like I'm cutting you off, I don't like you. For some of you it may be that though, especially if people are revealing, you know, certain aspects. But notice who is maybe playing up and maybe trying to pull on you right now, because it's showing you what needs to be evaluated. And I think that's what you're going through right now. Why do we have deflection though with the bells, spirit guides? Why? With the deflection card, I was going to read the book, but for some reason I can't find it. I don't think I brought it into the room that I'm in. But pulling the energy from that card with the deflection, I would say to very much so, because I'm hearing karmic balance in your life right now. So I would say that whoever's making noise, whoever's trying to pull at you right now, whoever's trying to latch onto you right now, or whoever may be trying to turn your head away from your own power right now, pay attention. And also pay attention to like words that may be being said, or distractions that may be happening right now, because you'll be able to, standing back from it, see what you're evolving from and what, you know, may still be trying to keep you in an old energy. So really pay attention, especially even if something triggers you or a wound comes up right now. Really pay attention to that, because I feel like you'll be able to see what part of you is entering a really beautiful rebirth, and who may be trying to keep you, or what may be trying to keep you, you know, stuck where it was. So I would definitely say to pay attention to that with that card. So let's pull your final oracle cards. Messages from pile number 1, spirit guides, please. Messages from pile number 1, spirit guides. Wow, we have closing circle, pure intent, sacred doors, time in, and experience. The closing circle is making me think of closing doors, and shutting a cycle down. I really do think you're evolving from something and stepping out of something. It's like an emergence, and an emergence, it doesn't just happen one, like I was in one energy and now I'm in another and it's done. Even our cycles into that emergence goes round and round and round and round in circles, you know. The flower isn't just like under the ground and then all of a sudden it's open. It slowly makes its way up, and then it sprouts, and then the leaves come, and then, you know, the bud starts, and then the bud starts to open, and then the flower starts to bloom, and then it fully blooms. It's a journey, and I think you're starting to become aware of that also, that budding and opening up to another phase. It's a journey. If you hear like ticking, honestly, I don't even know the explanation to give you. I bought a cute little circle thing to put my skincare in, and the doors are a little bit not that, they're quite flimsy, and I'm guessing it's that, because that is the noise it makes, but it keeps shaking and I don't know why. This is an old house, so it's quite creaky, but I don't know how it could be affecting that actual skincare box, but it is, and it keeps clicking at different times. So if you hear it, apologies, but that's what that noise is. I'm not being annoying, just clicking things for fun. I hope it stops soon. But yeah, with closing circle, look at that pure intent. It's like purification. Anything that isn't going to be able to withhold your frequency in this new phase is naturally being transformed and removed from your energy. That's what I'm really being shown. Pile number, because when we change frequencies, which is what you're doing, we move out of an alignment with a lot of things. We may move out of alignment with readers that we have, you know. You could be finding that certain pick of cards aren't resonating with you right now, while other people that you've never given the time of day to before, or other people that maybe you never resonated with before are starting to resonate, and vice versa, because that everything shifts, and it happens in your inner circles with friends and family members. It happens in, you know, even like music that you listen to. You may find there's a different vibe for you now, and there's different music you want to listen to, or there's new songs that you're discovering out of nowhere. They could have been out for 5 years. You could have listened to it 5 years ago and thought it was a terrible song, whereas now it's like, no, I get that now, because you're aligning with the frequency of it, and that happens. Pile number 1, we have gnomes, humanity, friendship, hard work, and little visions. Love that. That's a really cute card. Let me just get one more on our channel. And pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Messages from pile number 1, spirit guides. We have ocean muse, what is wisdom, intuition, hermit's light, discovery. And the back of the deck you have opening circle. Look at that, you have closing circle and opening circle. Let me make it focus. Protection, ritual, lessons, simplicity. See, look at that, you had closing circle and opening circle. I feel like you were closing down maybe a paradigm, you went into a void, you did shadow work, you did purging, maybe you went through an ego death, and then now you're opening up to a new frequency. So now things are being removed, things are being shifted around as you open up to this new energy, which is beautiful. Gnomes, humanity, friendship, hard work, little visions. If you've ever journeyed to connect with the gnomes in that realm, it's fine if you don't fully align with that, that's okay. But there's such a beautiful togetherness that comes from them, and it's interesting that they wrote humanity, friendship, hard work, but there's such a togetherness and a collective a collective love between that energy, even with human beings as well. And I do feel as well that you guys are, now that you're aligning with your true energy and you feel empowered to stand in it, you are going to be aligning with people just like you. And I think that you're going to be finding your way with new connections, new relationships, new friendships. And I'm hearing that song, We All Need Somebody to Lean On by Major Lazer, because I feel like you've maybe had to be hyper independent, especially having no choice sometimes but to cut out people. And I think you're stepping into a time where you're ready to lean on people, which may be why there are people that you might be stepping away from, because maybe they added to you having to be hyper independent, or maybe you had to do everything for them but you weren't able to lean on them. And what you're making room for is people that you can lean on and have a community with in that aspect. So that's something that's coming through as well. And with Ocean's Muse, Water's Wisdom, Intuition, Hermit's Light, Discovery, what I'm actually picking up there, especially with it talking about Hermit's Light, I feel like I keep being shown, you know, like deep at the bottom of the ocean, in the darkest, coldest parts, they have these like luminous like sea creatures that are bright and they have this glow. I almost want to reference you like that. I feel like no matter where you go, your light shines and navigates you through everything. And even if you are having a really hard time with certain emotions coming through energetically, I want you to know you're acing it, and you are that light in the dark for people around you too. And you are making your way back up to the surface. There's no amount of darkness that could force against you that will take you with it. I feel like your light is always going to be there because it's within you. It's part of you, you know. And that's a really strong message that I'm getting for that card, more so than to bring guidance through. And I want you to know that you're super protected in spirit, and your spirit team are around you very, very strongly. I see it's almost like, you know, like the red and gold, like Hollywood kind of gates that they have for movie theaters and stuff. It's like red and gold. I'm being shown that, but then it's like, because I'm being shown light and dark, so that's kind of like the lighter aspect, like this is my person's energy, you know. But then it's also like barbed wire as well, with a sign like keep out, because it's almost like dark and light, like your shadow self protecting you too. So it's like, because you've made friends with that, it's like the light and shadow kind of protecting you, which is really, really beautiful, because I keep being shown keep out. And it's funny, is I watched the SpongeBob movie literally 2 days ago, because my sister was like, I really want to watch the SpongeBob movie. I was like, I'm up for that. And I love the scene when they turn into men and they go into the swamp and they befriend these like scary monsters, and the monsters become their friends. So it's almost like, especially with down at the bottom of the sea, you have your light there walking with you in love, but it's like I'm almost being shown the scary monsters as well down there, and it's like, we're here too, don't worry, you're protected, sort of thing, which is really, really beautiful. Because nothing's really dark, it's light, dark, and then there's distortion, and you're protected from that distortion and anything trying to keep you in distortion. And that's the reference here. So pile number 1, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pal 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages your spirit guides have for you right now. You guys chose the rose clip. I was saying to pal number 1, I really wanted to do this reading because I know that there are such heavy energies on earth right now and in the collective. I know that a lot of people are really going through it, whether it's, you know, shadow energies coming up for clearing, or, you know, people are really going through a bit of a rebirth or an awakening of some sort. I'm seeing it with everyone, really, really feeling that pressure and that intensity. So I really wanted to bring guidance through today. I really felt called to. So I'm gonna get straight in. We're gonna start with tarot as usual, and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, messages from pile number 2's spirit guides. We have the Death card. because I know I'm gonna be doing four different cards, so I want to make room for it. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 2's Spirit Guides. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Page of Pentacles. One more card. Oh God, that just jumped out into my face. And we have the Devil as well. That just like almost gave me a paper cut then. And then we have the Moon at the back of the deck. There's a song in the Lion King album that Beyonce made called Key to the Kingdom. And in the bridge, in the verse, and I'm saying it because that's what I just shared, but in the bridge, they sing, just like the tree, just like the Chinese bamboo tree, eyes might not see the greatness inside you that lies within. And I keep being shown like an actual rose, which is quite funny because you guys chose the rose clip. And I'm being taken straight into the midst of the petals, like right deep into the petals, and the layers that roses have. Like roses have so many layers to them. And I almost want to say, please don't ever apologize for your depth. Please don't ever apologize for the many stages of evolving that you go through. And please never hide your uniqueness, because it's almost like I'm a rose and I have all of these petals, and then someone's saying to me, that's too much petals. So I'm almost closing myself off so that I'm only showing a couple, when a rose is meant to fully bloom and have, you know, a bunch of petals. I'll show you what I'm being shown because I have my vase here. So let me just get my vase. You can see on the roses, they have so many layers to them. And that's what I'm being shown, and then I'm being shown a rose like kind of closing itself off to hide, but that doesn't even look right. You know what I mean? They're meant to be fully blooming like that. These aren't real, by the way, because my cats would eat them if they were. But that's what I was really being shown, is you guys sometimes feeling like you need to hide your uniqueness or hide your depth, and there's a strong reference of you guys allowing yourself to be like the ever-folding rose and shine in all the unique ways. Because I keep being shown you guys maybe sometimes wanting to hide a certain authentic part of you because you're told that it might look a certain way or not shine as bright because people have tried to target that. And even in regards to like physical appearance, it's almost like, this isn't in trend, so I don't want to have this, or this isn't in trend, so I don't want to have that. And it's like, don't allow the opinions of other people and people not being able to see the light in something or the goodness in something to hide that away. You're meant to bloom and be your authentic, unique self, and there's many layers to you. And your spirit guides are really referencing that for you to showcase all these weird and wonderful sides of you. And what's interesting is I'm being shown, yesterday I clicked onto a music channel, and I was shown, not shown, but Whitney Houston was on, her song, I Want to Dance With Somebody. And I was completely mesmerized by the video, because I was like, not only is she just stunning, like she was so beautiful, and she had one of the most beautiful voices, but her aura, like when I watched that video, and if you want to watch it after this, you can, her aura was so magnetizing and beautiful. You could feel her through the screen. She was so warm and so inviting and so lovely. Like her aura was just grand before she was even there. And then because of that, the way she looked and her face, it lit up, and the colors, it was like, it was all props compared to just, you know, who she was in general. Like her aura was just so bright and lovely. And then I started feeling sad, because obviously she's not with us anymore. And then I was thinking of how many people have had that beautiful light and had that beautiful aura and have been told to close those petals and close those petals and close those petals. In a way, yesterday I was thinking of it more, people just kind of targeted to kind of hide themselves away, or their own energy's been distorted by other people. I started thinking of like Norma Jean, Marilyn Monroe, you know, I was thinking of Amy Winehouse, I was thinking of Princess Diana, I was thinking of, you know, a bunch of people like that with beautiful grand auras, and being made to kind of hide them away. And I felt that kind of like sadness, and it almost made me want to just shine my light out. And that's what I'm being brought up here in regards to this reading. So maybe the reason I saw that yesterday was tied into today, because I know Spirit likes to do that with me sometimes. But there's this reference of you shining that light out and shining that aura out, because I think sometimes you don't even see how much you light people up, and you don't even see how much you inspire people. And you may think, oh, this petal, I'm just going to flop it out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to like let it out, not realizing that that one petal is inspiring, that one layer that you're choosing to let out, that vulnerable side of you, or that angry side of you. And when I say angry, I don't mean mean side, I mean owning your own feelings, you know what I mean, and embodying your own feelings unapologetically. And you know, whatever side it is to you, whether it's you're creating something, a lot of the times you do something so simply and so light, and it has beyond a rippling effect. It's almost like a tsunami. Like, I see that you guys really do inspire people, and I think that a lot of people really do see that light in you, and are really attracted to that aura that you have. And I think that sometimes you don't see it, and you're being called to not apologize for your depth, and apologize for your, you know, vulnerability, and apologize for your confidence, or apologize for, you know, you may be constantly creating and showing different sides of yourself in that way. You could maybe constantly switch through aesthetics. You could, you know, be somebody that's very open with, you know, experiences that you've had, and you may have had people tell you, don't be like this, don't be like that, don't be vulnerable, don't be this, don't be that. And you're being called to really disregard that, for people that aren't able to embody something within themselves, that go in to target that, and you're being called to just shine it out, because that's what you're here to do. I feel like you guys are that ever unfolding rose, and I think you guys are constantly evolving, and bringing new aspects out. I feel like you're constantly creating too. So I don't know if you make music, or you write poetry, or you know, you may vlog or do TikToks or things like that. Even if you have a career and then you add on to it, because I feel like whatever you do, there's always layers to it. It's never as simple as just like, I'm writing a book. It's like, and then I'm gonna make an album of music, or then I'm gonna do a sequel and a sequel. Think of like Harry Potter, and when J.K. Rowling did that one book, and then she made like a huge sequel, and it became something so much deeper. Imagine someone said to her, don't be so deep, those books are too long, those books are too in depth, no one's gonna get that. You know what I mean? Just let's shorten these. Why are you making another book? Why are you doing that? Imagine someone said that to her. We wouldn't have Harry Potter, and a bunch of souls wouldn't have even been inspired by that, you know what I mean, or found resonance with the characters there, or escaped through that, or been inspired to make their own movies there, you know what I mean. And I feel like you guys are those kind of, you guys are trailblazers. You guys are here to create. You guys are here to embody yourself, your true energy, and as much authenticity as you can, so that it can inspire other people. I think that you guys really are a shining light, and I think sometimes you may not see that in yourselves as you go through your own cycles, but best believe people see it in you, and that's a strong reference. Do not allow anyone to make you fold any of those petals back in. You're meant to bloom, and you are meant to let them all out, and that's a really strong reference coming through. Because like I was saying about Whitney Houston, you know, when you look at the interviews and you know, you see as time went on, people really did target her, and she stopped seeing that light in herself. Same with you know, Marilyn. Same with, I was watching Amy Winehouse, and she did like a performance, and it was amazing, and she goes behind the scenes, and one of the presenters is like, that was amazing, and she was like, no it wasn't, that was terrible. She couldn't see how amazing that performance was. And you see it all the time with people, and you see it all the time with people in the public eye, and people just in the public. But you just have this aura that's so magnetizing, and you inspire so many people, and Spirit almost wants you to see that, you know what I mean, and you to look back at certain phases of your life, and certain ways you've made it through certain avenues, and creations that you might have made 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you know, how you've evolved. Spirit's almost wanting you to have gratitude for your own process, because you really do inspire, like, I want to say so many, because I feel like it's also in spirit, and I just feel like even just you, like, authentically dress in the way you want to dress, even you just authentically wearing your hair a certain way, or authentically being open about, you know, I want to say sexuality, like your certain sexuality, and you know, maybe it's you connecting to spirit and being open about it. A lot of people are kind of targeted for that too, and you're here to kind of be that trailblazer and hold that space, and you're doing amazing, sweetie. Like, that's what I'm wanting to say to you guys. I haven't had that Christiana meme come up in a while. You're doing amazing, sweetie, but it's just come up for you guys. So there's a reference of pride from your spirit team, and wanting you to look in the mirror and see the beauty that you are, because you really are such a light for people, whether you realize it or not. And the thing is about being a light is you can also then be the target of people's shadow. You can see the post that for you guys would be yesterday. Well, yeah, I'm putting this up today, so yesterday that I wrote. I haven't got through to the comments yet on that post, but you know, I was speaking about it yesterday. When I do my readings and I you know, open up to being vulnerable and emotional, people will try and target that, but it's not a reflection on me, and there's a lot more light than there is dark. And when you put yourself out there, you are going to have people that target it, because they can be scared of your light, or they can be scared of your authenticity, or you may be embodying, you know, I see people and they'll be very confident in themselves, and people will say, oh, you're cocky, simmer down, you know what I mean? And it's like, why do you want them to not feel themselves? Why do you not want them to be confident in themselves? Like, why do you not want that? But if somebody's been taught their whole life to not embody their own confidence, and they've been targeted for it, then they're going to project that onto other people, and so it goes. And I feel like you are here to be this light, and sometimes that will have you be a target of some people's shadows, but you're here to authentically express whatever it is you came here to do, and you'll know that. And sometimes it's just you being yourself, in whatever way it is, you know what I mean? So let's pull some more cards. And I want to say as well, you have the moon at the back of the deck, because spirit's looking at you in a lot of gratitude and pride, and I feel like people do look up to you or really get inspired by you, and then I see you guys just not seeing it in yourself sometimes, and it's almost like I want you to see that. So if you want to listen to Key to the Kingdom by Beyonce after this, well, it's not by Beyonce, it's I can't remember her name, but it's in the Lion King album, but if you type in Beyonce, it'll probably pop up. Pile number, I don't know if somebody just took medicine. I just tasted it in my mouth for a sec, or if somebody has a cold. I don't know why I'm being taken to my ear, so I don't know if someone has like a ear infection or something like that, but if someone's avoiding taking the medicine they need to, or forgotten to take it, this is a reminder to take it. Although someone could have literally just taken medication for something, some sort of medicine. I just tasted it. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Messages from pile number 2, spirit guides. We have ancestors, wisdom. Some people won't even meet themselves authentically on a surface layer, let alone meet themselves authentically on a spiritual level, let alone meet themselves authentically on an emotional level, a mental level, a physical level, let alone embody ancestral traits and embody those too. You naturally tap into all of them in a very authentic way, which is why you have so many layers to you. Don't have those petals climb back up because of other people, especially, you know, you could be writing a book and the book's like 1,000 pages long, or however long pages long, and Maybe it's meant to be that way. Maybe that's your story. It's making me think of like James Cameron when he did Titanic. Like, that movie's a really long movie. And you'll have a lot of people say, oh, that movie's too long, that movie's too long. And even with Avatar, like when he did the Avatar movies, I've heard, I don't know how true it is, that he shot and filmed the third movie, and apparently it's like 6 hours long or 8 hours long. Obviously they're going to cut it for movies. However, that's a long movie, but his mind and what he has to bring out, there's depth there. You know, I've never tapped into James Cameron. I don't know how much depth he has within him, but there must be some for him to be creating movies that long. And who said you can't have a movie that long? Who said that? If people don't want to sit through a movie that long, that's fine, but he can put that out if he wants to in one way or another. Who said that? He has depth. Maybe people have that depth too and want to see it. I don't know about you, but I would sit through a movie that long, you know? So you're here to break the norm and dance in your own uniqueness, and that's a strong message from Spirit. Maybe you're meant to have all of these layers for a reason. Pile number 2, please, Spirit guides. Messages from pile number 2's. Spirit guides. We have Dreamweaver, accessibility. Your uniqueness goes beyond the physical realm. It's not just a case of, I'm wearing my hair this color because I want to and it's authentic to me. It's like that hair color could represent something that's going on in your energy field. And that tattoo that you just got, that's very unique, that not a lot of people have, that's something from past lives ago that you had a dream about and felt empowered by and put it on your skin. Like, there's such depth to everything that you do. Please don't water yourself down. You're meant to hold those depths and hold those frequencies. There's wisdom behind all of it. Pile number, you're able to access vulnerability because you're authentic to your own emotions. Don't allow somebody that isn't even ready to embody their own emotions in a light way tell you to not go so deep into your own emotions. They're just fearing the depth. It's okay, you know? Pile number 2, please. I think this reading's more so a reminder. Pile number 2. We have journey, imagination. On the back of the deck, you have East, emergence. You're meant to be that light in the dark. You're meant to activate people. And even with, you know, the journey card, imagination, you know, when we think of like our imagination, and even when we journey with the drama, we journey with whatever tools that we have to go into other realms, like, we could easily as human beings shut off from that and be like, oh, it's all in my head, not real, whatever. Or we can journey into these realms, accept anything coming through, see the beauty in it, and allow it to inspire us, and allow that openness again to unfold, and allow messages from Spirit to come through and see life from an even higher perspective again. We choose how deep we want to look at life. We choose how deep we want to go. And you have a lot of doors open that you access because you choose to, because you have that depth within you. Don't allow people that aren't able to see those doors close them for you, you know? Pile number... And the more you shine that out, the more you're inspiring others to do the same. Inspiring other lights to hold on to that frequency too. Pile number, I'm hearing Love in the Dark by Jessie Reyes as well. We have Florida Waters, Natural Farm, Enchanted Potion, Red Roses. Literally, look, you've got the rose on here as well. Red roses. Roses may be a significant flower for you guys. And then we have Cleansing. I'm just going to get the 3 cards down and then I'll channel them. Pile number 2, please, Spirit guides. Messages from pile number 2, Spirit guides, please. We have Mugwort, Dreams, Rhythm, Higher Self, Reality, Rest. And one more card, please. I'm getting uncomfortable only because, as you guys know, I've been going through a Kundalini awakening for a really long time. And whenever I'm going through a bit of a transformation, I can feel the energy going up through my root up my crown, and it's a weird feeling at the base. And when I'm having new energy coming in, that happens sometimes. Sometimes it goes downward, up and downwards, and sometimes it goes down and upwards. And I'm feeling it, so it's making my body feel a bit weird. I feel like I need to go for a run or dance. And again, me saying that to you, like normally I would just move uncomfortably and be quiet, but I even feel in your energy like I feel comfortable to say that, you know, and talk about it. And I think that you hold space for people to be their authentic selves too, because normally I would just be like, oh, whatever, like I just move about. But I think that you do hold that space for people. I don't think you realize the light that you hold and the warmth that you have within your own frequency. We have vervain, everlasting, spellbound soul, alignment, release, and protection. I love how you have two lots of flowers blooming here. And the back of the deck, oh wow, you have another flower here as well. You have hollowed heart, veneration, sensuality, gentleness, nakedness. Look at the flowers blooming from the heart, you know, and they look like roses actually with the amount of flowers open, and they may not be, but it looks like it. Everything that you do is authentic and is from your heart space, which is why it has that rippling effect, which is why it has that warmth. A lot of people will hide their true versions or not be in touch with it, and you really do embody your true form, which is, you know, it can be really rare. Natural form, enchanted portion, red rose, it's cleansing. You remind me of that saying that I love, the rose that grew from the concrete. Rhythm, higher self, reality, rest. And when you look at the flowers as well, like, and I've said this on, I think it was a community post I wrote this on. When you look at like a rose and it blooms and it has all of those flowers, there's more flowers than just the rose. There's the daisy, there's the buttercup, there's the tulip. And flowers don't look at each other and go, oh, I wish I was like the tulip. I wish I had less petals like that tulip. Or, oh, I wish I had, you know, the yellow middle with the white petals there. Or I wish I was like that daisy. Like, they don't do that. They bloom and they hold their purpose and they hold their authenticity. And that's really what I'm picking up from this card as well with the natural form. I think you're here to be your authentic self, to allow other people to embody their authentic selves, you know, whether it's a rose like yourself or whether it's a buttercup or a pansy or a geranium or whatever flower comes through. You know, you're here to help people embody who they're meant to be by holding space and being that light, you know, and being confident in that too. And I think that's what you're journeying to. Rhythm, higher self, reality, rest. Yeah, I think sometimes you don't see it, because sometimes as well in your energy, like something's emerging and you may not see what's emerging yet because you're the one going through it, but other people can. So like, for example, you could be reaching a level of like empowerment within yourself, and it's coming, but you don't realize that something's emerging within you. You don't realize that you're moving a little bit different because you're the one going through it. So you're not aware of it yet, and then you may find that people may target something that's arising within you, or someone may try and poke at it to try and keep it not from blooming, like to keep that part stuck in its bud. And you don't even realize it yet, so because it's just blooming energetically, you're not even aware of something that's starting to glow from you, and other people might be able to see it before you, because you're the one actually going through it. And I feel like sometimes that may be targeted to try and snap you back into your bud, and I think that's a reference from spirit to make sure you bloom. You may have even had something like that happen recently, where, you know, you've been very confident in yourself, or you've really stood in your own empowerment, or you've been very vulnerable, or you've put your foot down or put a boundary in, and somebody's trying to target that, and that's something that it's emerging within you right now. And that's where spirit's like, don't apologize for all of these parts of you and allow these parts to bloom. And pay attention as well, because a lot of the times when people will target you, they're projecting their own insecurities, and that you can pull a lot from what language people use to speak, what words they choose. There's usually an answer to what may be in your energy right now that they're frantic about. And there may also be a lot of the times they tell on themselves, you know, when somebody's getting triggered by something, there's something you're embodying that they're either scared of, they don't like, or it's irritating a part of their shadows. And you can usually see by the language that they use, you know. And then we have spellbound, soul alignment, release, and protection. It was activation vibration. Heather, the other day, she wrote a post. I think it was a post. It could have been a story. She took a picture of a flower and she said delicate things need protection because the flower had thorns. And again, the rose, the clip here has its thorns, you know, sticking out on the sides, but it also has the rose here as well. Never apologize for your boundaries, because you know, like Heather put in that post, shout out Heather, by the way, I love her channel, she has a lot of wisdom, but your boundaries, these thorns, they will keep the petals, the delicate parts of you safe. So don't be afraid, or don't feel like the part of you that puts those boundaries in and tells people off sometimes, that's a part of you too. That's a part that's meant to bloom within you too, and it's meant to keep that beautiful creation and those petals safe. So don't ever apologize from those either, because that's also a beautiful part of you. So pile number 2, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. I love that it was more of a message of kind of a reminder, which I love. It almost felt like I was activating, like topping something up right now, which was really lovely. That was the energy I felt from your spirit guides. It's almost like remind them, which is really, really beautiful. You are really, really loved. Really loved pile number 2, and really protected as well. So hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you enjoyed this reading. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages your spirit guides have for you right now. Like I was saying, for Pile 1 and 2, the energies are very intense at the moment. There's a lot of shifts going on, a lot of clearing out happening, a lot of awakenings happening as well, I've noticed, and I really just wanted to bring guidance because of that. So you guys chose the shell. I'm gonna start with tarot, and then we're gonna move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile, let me get comfortable. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3, tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. We have the Hierophant. I'm gonna move your shell up here and just, okay. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Messages from pile number 3s. Spirit guides, messages from pile. Oh, your card's falling on the floor. Hang on. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Let me, you know, like when something's being unearthed or something's being like rebirthed, like for example, you know, people say that like the lands of like Lemuria and Atlantis are gonna reveal themselves, or like realms reveal themselves when it's time for human beings to be there, or other energies, you know, other entities, or if you want to call them aliens, will reveal themselves when it's time. It's like, and even artifacts like on Earth from years and years ago, they're unearthed and they give us a completely different perspective on history. That's something that I'm being shown energetically. We'll get into it in a second. Ace of Swords. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Messages from pile number 3, spirit guides. The Emperor. And then the back of the deck, you guys have the Tower card. I'm hearing Beyonce's song Bigger, and she's basically talks about standing up and like rising, and like in the song she sings, if you feel insignificant, you better think again, because you're part of something way bigger. And she really, it's a very spiritual song, and she sings about being bigger than what we're told, human beings being bigger than what we're told we are. And it's a really beautiful song, and a beautiful spiritual song. And I love that song a lot. And I'm hearing that here because I almost feel like you're very needed. I feel the messages you bring through, because I feel like you're my spiritual pile, the messages that you bring through, the guidance that you bring through is very, very needed. And I feel like you guys, that there's a shift in your energy. You may be feeling like you're going through a bit of an awakening. It doesn't even have to be that. It's almost like I'm being shown like cogs in a wheel, and the dust is being brushed off, and they're starting to turn, they're starting to move, things are starting to be awakened within you. I keep being shown as well like repressed memories coming up, like there's something being activated in you, and then it's like to clear space from it. It's like repressed memories are coming up, but also not just for clearing. For some of you guys it could be, but I see you guys like remembering stuff from childhood, and it's like I see you sitting there and being like, oh my god, remember that game when I was like 3 years old? I completely forgot about that. And then it's like, how am I accessing that memory? Or like, remember when I was 2 and this happened? How am I accessing that memory? It's almost like more is being revealed. But even then, past lives, it's like I keep being shown clips being played in regards to like past lives and that coming through, and gifts kind of like awakening within me, and I'm doing them with ease, even though I've never done it before in this lifetime. It's just coming through, and it's almost like there's a lot of activations being sprouted up in regards to your energy field right now. There's a lot going on. Like there's an activation in the crown chakra, but then it's also like a clearing. Like for some reason I keep being shown like a waste bin, you know in Friends, and they had that like garbage chute, and you put the waste down and it would go down. It's almost like something's opening like at the bottom, like by your root chakra, and then there's like a bunch of mess being cleared, let's put it that way, being sent back out, and then it's like you're being cleared then through the crown chakra, but it's like you're being activated then through the crown chakra. So you may be feeling a little bit fuzzy right now. You may also be feeling like certain gifts and the way that you would work with certain abilities is starting to become a little bit hazy. I want to use the word hazy. You're not losing any abilities. It's almost like a wheel is being turned. You're having to adjust to using them in a different way. Now that other parts of you are being activated, they are also going to be added to the structure and dynamic of the way that maybe you work with spirit or you work with energy. So you're having to tailor in and weave new threads into what you already knew. I'm also being shown, do you know what your energy's reminding me of? I did a post the other day, and it's like, what's going on in your energy field? And if you saw the post, there was one particular pile. I think it was the Patrick Star with the heart sticking out, or I think it was Jerry actually from Tom and Jerry, and the heart was sticking out. And I was being shown simultaneously somebody's energy field, and then on the right it was like a clearing happening, but then while the energy was being cleared, as it got to the middle in front of them, there was a purge, and then the energy was being alchemized, and then there was this new energy full of vibrance making its way back around in a circle. And it was like I feel grief because I'm releasing something, I'm clearing something, maybe there's bad memories coming up and I'm purging them, but at the exact same time of this grief, I feel like I'm being topped up. Every single thing I'm losing, I feel like I'm gaining. Every time I'm feeling disempowered, I'm feeling this feeling of empowerment. Every time I feel disconnected from my gifts, I feel more connected to my gifts than ever before. And it's simultaneously happening, which it's almost making me feel like a multi-dimensional layer you are now becoming more conscious of and aware of. It's almost like I've got one foot in one realm, one foot in the other realm. So I'm purging in this realm, but this other realm I'm gaining so much. So there's this evolving happening and a clearing at the same time, which is why things may be feeling a bit hazy, because the pendulum is swinging all places. It's going up, it's going down, it's going round. The pendulum's saying yes, it's saying no at the same time. Like, I'm not even getting clear answers in anything, because right now I feel a little bit discombobulated. What's really been happening for you guys is the jigsaw was half done. There's new parts that you forgot. You were sitting on them, you forgot they were there. So now you've scrumpled the jigsaw up and you've now got the pieces you were sitting on. You forgot they were there. You didn't realize they were there. And now you're creating the bigger picture with these new pieces together. And the picture looked like an elephant. Now you are realizing it was actually a horse, So it's like you're able to see things clearer, but right now things are feeling a bit discombobulated because everything's being messed around and mixed around, because now you have better insight. So you may find that the way that you were looking at the world seems a little bit hazy. It's like, I used to look at it this way and it made sense, but now not quite. And it's only because there's more to the picture and more to the story that's being revealed to you. So let it be hazy for a sec, because it's all going to even itself out and you'll be like, oh, I didn't see. I thought that this was all there was, but now that I see that there was more, that adds a bigger picture. So yes, I was right in seeing this doorway, but I couldn't see beyond the doorway, and now that adds another layer, and now I see it even deeper. That makes much more sense. And as you can see with the sword here, that mental clarity behind there's all the fog on the sword. You couldn't see beyond the fog, but now that there's activations happening and there's a clearing out happening for you to even have those activations in the first place, it's bringing a duality, it's bringing a new layer, a new paradigm in. Like I was saying about when there's lost lands that re-emerge, or we have an idea of history, but then we are shown an artifact that completely rewrites what we knew, and now we have to completely learn again. And like with the planets, before we knew that there were certain planets, we had astrology before we knew that there were even certain planets in the sky, and as more planets were revealed, we as astrologers had to then discombobulate that and look at it from a different perspective and be like, oh, Pluto, okay, well, Scorpio, I know you were ruled by Mars, but here's your home in Pluto, and evolve from there. And through learning and discombobulating and scrumpling up the jigsaw, we're able to evolve again and see things deeper. And I think that's what's happening for you right now. So there's a little bit of a balance, because for that new energy to come in, for you to adjust your eyes, you have to let go of the old glasses. You have to put the old glasses down, because there's a better pair for you. And to do that can be from an energy perspective. If you have a memory that you didn't even realize was there, but there's a wound attached to it, it needs to be brought up through the subconscious, so that you can look at that energy in a different way. So you may be dealing with repressed memories or thoughts and feelings coming up right now, and memories coming up, and fears coming up, maybe fears you didn't even realize you had, but it's for that clear out. And then I see it's not even a case of it's going to go through phases, because sometimes it's a case of we purge, then we reboot, then we align, and then we're in this new energy. It's not even happening, it's all happening at once, which makes me feel like you're activating something within you, because it's like, I'm purging, I'm activating, I'm being rebooted, and I'm evolving at once. It's not happening being ticked off the list, it's all happening simultaneously, which is why there's a haziness right now. Sit in the haziness. If you're feeling confused, just allow that confusion to be. Don't try and figure everything out. It will come to you like everything. The storm settles, and maybe there's pieces of the puzzle that haven't been revealed to you yet, so just allow things to even themselves out. Especially with the energy right now on Earth, there's a lot of shifting. It's probably to do with the shifting and the rapid evolving I'm seeing on Earth right now. I know people have been talking about the Schumann resonance. I don't know too much about the Schumann resonance, so I can't really talk about it, but I know that there was something about it being like off the scale, or there was a shift. I don't know much about it, I can't speak much about that, but I think it's funny how I was feeling very intense, then I was reaching out to people around me and they were feeling really intense, and then I saw that the collective was feeling really intense, and then people were referencing the Schumann resonance, and on top of that, all of the transits right now in astrology, and it's like, oh, there's something going on right now. There is something happening right now. And I think maybe this this feeling of evolving that I'm seeing from you guys, I think that may have something to do with it. And I think it's more so you're choosing to align with it, rather than it being the cause for this readjustment with you. I think that energetically on a soul level, it's like there's a shift about to come in, I'm going to start adjusting for it, instead of there's a shift coming in and now I'm adjusting it. I think it was, I can feel it coming, I'm going to adjust ready for it. I don't think it's the sole reason why there's this shift happening for you guys right now. But if you feel confused, just like when you get your eyes tested and they have to like adjust a lens for you for it to for your eyes to adjust to something, if you're feeling confused, you're just in that haziness a sec, it's going to adjust itself out. Just be aware of anything that crops up, don't bury it back down. Just allow yourself to feel into whatever it is you're feeling right now, even if it is just pure confusion and you feel like you're drifting a little bit. Just allow yourself to drift, don't swim up current is the message. Because I think you're bringing things through as well. I think that messages are going to be, important messages are going to be coming in from spirit, or important healings about to come through for you guys. Yeah, so let's, yeah, because look, we've literally got the Tower card here. So yeah, let's pull some more cards. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Messages from pile number 3, spirit guides. Let me just, my jewelry thing has a dove on it, and I like when it faces forward, and it was facing the window, and I thought, no, I like when it's facing the front. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. What messages do my pile number 3s need to hear right now? What messages do my pile number 3s need to hear right now? We have buried in earth, transference. Yeah, I think you guys as well, because you guys are very connected to your own energy, you're aware when there is a shift in Mother Gaia. You're aware when there's a shift in the cosmos. You're aware when there is a bunch of downloads happening on earth. You feel it. When you energetically, I don't know if you guys have ever done it, but if you sit on earth or grass and you journey and you meditate and you allow yourself to go into a level of a trance, you start to feel the weight of what's underneath, all the worms moving around and the ants and the colonies and all of that. You can feel the grand energy below, you know, and the life that is below, and the currents moving through earth. If you've never done it, I would say for you guys to do it. Even if you do it like just putting your feet in, like, I would be careful meditating by the sea in case you fall asleep, like be careful with that, but maybe stay awake doing it and put your feet in and see what you can pick up just from the bottom of the ocean just by putting your feet into the, you know, the tip. Don't go to sleep or do anything that could put you to sleep though, please, by water anyway. But you're able to feel the currents, and you're able to even pick up messages from Mother Gaia and the other realms and the beings that are under the earth, and bring that healing through and bring those messages through. And I think that you're very in tune with that, and I think you're able to feel that frequency shift for yourself, because there's something going on right now. I can feel it. I feel like we can all feel it right now. Pile number, I thought there was a dog walking around outside by itself, but it was one of my neighbour's dogs, and my neighbour's there. I honestly was ready to run out and save it, but it wasn't on its own. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please. You also may find as well that after the shift, or even during, you may be ready to make changes in your career or where you live. You may be feeling called to live more near nature. You may be even wanting to plant yourself in grids where it's just full of concrete and people to be able to bring an energy through in that way. You may also be feeling called to be more by the sea, maybe where there's a lot of sun. Yeah, and I see that as well. There's a lot of shifts, and you may even be feeling a little bit disconnected to your current career or your where you currently live, and that's completely fine as well, especially if there's a dismantling, and especially if there is more to the story. You're going to be feeling detached because it's being, like I said, the jigsaw's being shaken about to be replanted, and it could be that you stay in the career that you're in, or you stay in the area that you're in, but you want to build upon that and add to it and add another layer to it, which is something that could be happening as well, because it's like I was sitting on these jigsaw pieces I didn't see. Now I have more to the picture. Pile number, we have Drum Awaken. Some of you guys are literally, as easy as it sounds, going through a bit of an awakening right now, but simultaneously going through a shadow period. It's interesting. There's different layers to an awakening. No, it's not a case of I'm asleep and then I'm awake. It's like I'm awakening. Oh, I'm awakening again. Oh, this is a different type of an awakening. Oh, this is an ego death. Oh, this is a Kundalini awakening. Oh, I'm purging through my shadows, but I'm awakening to my darkness. Oh, another awakening again. Like, it just constantly happens. There's no ending. No matter even what part of an awakening it is, like whatever you want to call it, it doesn't end. Like, you know, it never stops. It's constant, because we're constantly evolving and we're here to evolve. That's the point. Like, that's why space and scientists say that, you know, space just keeps multiplying and multiplying and getting bigger, because we are all parts of source, and source is creation. So we just constantly multiply and grow, you know, and the realms constantly go and go and go and go and go, and the seed falls on the ground and then blooms another, you know, flower up, but then that flower drops the seed and then another one grows, and human beings have their kids and their kids and their kids. It's constant, and I think you're aware of that. It's a ride. Pile number 3, we have the middle world, present. You're being called to because there's a lot going on in different realms around you and the layers of your frequency. I think there's a lot of shifts that you're being called to remember to stay present, because you may find that it's either very easy to fall into darker emotions and stay there, or you may find that it's very easy to escape and stay there, or to disassociate and stay there, or to go into another realm and just stay up there. And that's fine. All of them are fine. We're meant to go around in the cycles, but remember to always bring yourself back to present. Remember to always bring yourself back to where you're at, and check in with yourself while, you know, these layers are happening. Definitely get outside of nature would be a message here as well. We have offerings, wealth here as well. Interesting. Why do we have wealth at the back of the deck? You know, like when you create an altar and you put fresh water down and fresh flowers down, and you can put whatever you want there, sweets or whatever, we're pouring into that sacred space, you know. Especially if you have an altar that reflects parts of your journey, you're pouring into yourself by pouring into that altar. And I think that's what's happening for you right now. You're being called to pour into your physical body while all of your energies around you right now may be going through a little bit of a shift, you know. Remember your physical body, pour into your physical body right now. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Messages from pile number 3's spirit guides. I just felt like I had a hard sweet. You know, sometimes you can have like cough sweets, or like sweets and they have chewing gum in the middle, or like hard boiled kind of like candies and stuff. I just felt like I tasted one of those. Or like a lollipop. You know how they're like boiled into that? Like, I just felt like I tasted one if someone's eaten one. Drawing down the moon, divine feminine, source, channel, stillness. I mean, literally, source. Look at that. Divine feminine. We literally channel. You're bringing through a lot right now, even if you don't realize it. Remember to be still and remember to be present in these moments. Pile number 3. We have herbal craft, regeneration, plant medicine, caretaker, bloomer. Yeah, look at that. Regeneration. caretaker. Remember to pour into yourself right now while you're blooming and while you're growing. Because it's a regeneration. But what's interesting for you guys, and if you did pick that post, it would make sense where I saw that. You're purging, regenerating all at once. It's all happening now. It's not as clear cut 3D 1, 2, 3. It's like it's all happening at the same time. One minute I feel like you're feeling energized, and the next minute you're feeling tired. I'm hearing Janae Aiko's song Born Tired when she sings, I'm tired but I'm fired up. Like, two are existing at once. I see you guys really excited but then also really tired, and it's like, or like really grieving something but then also feeling sadness, and it's like, what? Like, there's so much duality here. It's really interesting. We also have ancient amulets, fortune, protection, skills, possessions. What was I saying about like ancient like objects and things that people find, and then it helps rewrite history just by finding them? It's like you're finding new parts of yourself, new things about you are being revealed, which is really, really beautiful. And if you are being called to like shake up your routine, shake up the way that you protect yourself, shake up the way you connect with spirit, do that. Or even if you're choosing, if you are feeling the need to open up to new things, do that. Listen to your intuition, because there could be something that's like a key that's activating. Yeah, because I keep being shown a U-turn as well. And then at the back of the deck we have Earth Mother, Psychic Recharge, Grounded Healer, Mentor, Layers. Yeah, so like I was saying with the Layers card as well, what I was saying was you may be having like intense memories from the past cropping up for you to clear and whatnot. I feel like that's happening. But then, like it said, Psychic Recharge, while it's being cleared up, you're being recharged at the same time with new abundance and information and healing coming through. So there's a lot going on for you energetically right now. And if everything's hazy and everything feels all squiggly, that is fine. Like I said, the jigsaw is being scrumpled up because you've just found new pieces, or new pieces have been revealed, and you're going to be building that jigsaw up the right way, which is really fun and exciting, and that's what I see for you guys. So pile number 3, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.